Cut that out.
Maybe.
Maybe, baby. Go.
Ready?
Maybe.
1, 2, 3, go.
Woo! Hey guys, what's up? Lee and Nari here, and welcome to another video, and in fact our kitchen.
Oh yes, our abode, my favorite place in the house.
Sorry, abode?
Yeah.
Oh, abode.
Abode.
Guys, sometimes I don't understand my own wife. And I'm trying to figure out what she's saying. But apparently, welcome to our abode. This is our favorite place in the house because it's where the magic happens. It's where the food is at. And this week we're going to speak to you about food, in fact, and we're going to talk to you about the challenge that Nari took on. We mentioned it previously, I believe, but that was Veganuary, right?
Yay!
Woo!
Exciting.
And you know, before we even start talking about it, what we're going to do is slightly different. I'm going to ask her some questions. I haven't prompted her what the questions are because I thought it'd be more fun to try and trip her up. And just to obviously point out, we're not, you know, healthcare professionals or food specialists or anything like that. So we're merely showing and speaking about, Nari's speaking about her opinion and her experience. So you shouldn't necessarily take this information and do the same thing, right? But we're going to try and be as honest as possible. Well, I don't need to be honest because I didn't do it. Nari needs to be honest.
Be honest as much as I can.
Right? So I'm going to be looking at my phone because I have questions, that are very elaborate questions that I've created.
Oh, great.
So get ready, people. Cool. So, wife, Nari.
Yes, husband.
Why did you decide to go vegan for Veganuary? Can you, hang on, wait. She's trying to look at my questions to try and think of the answers before we get to the question time, right? Rewind. Why did you decide to go vegan for Veganuary?
Well, that's a good question.
Wow, that's a great question.
I actually haven't thought about it. Well, Veganuary, how it started. Actually, you prompted me. You pushed me more because I said, so we were walking one day and he was like, I was like, maybe I should do the challenge. And he just turned around and says, why do you say maybe? Why don't you just do it?
Do it! Just do it!
So I was challenged. And we have a lot of vegan friends. Most of them have posted on our social media. Actually, one of our friends, Mushida, she prompted a lot of people to take on the challenge as well. So I decided, you know what the heck? Let me see what's this all about and let's try it and see. Challenge myself about something that I wasn't too sure about to start with because I am a meat eater. Like where I'm from, meat is with every dish, and I mean every dish. Like North Africans are saying they take pride in their meat.
Okay, so perfect. Did you answer the question? Because you're now starting to answer my other questions, and I haven't bloody got to them yet.
Okay, I hope it answers.
Cut! No, I'm joking. Cool. Okay, so it was basically a challenge. A friend of ours, Moshida, shout out to Moshida. She basically prompted on her Instagram on Right and Thinking. You thought, hey, that's cool. You were foolish enough to say, yeah, maybe I should try that around me. And I said, hey, don't be a thinker, be a doer.
Absolutely.
Doers do, thinkers think, right? Cool, perfect. So she became a vegan for Veganuary. She actually did really, really well, to be honest with you. And that leads me to my second question. She already touched upon it, which is culturally. That's the word. I'm taking the P out of her saying abode, and I can't even say culture. How important is animal products in your diet?
Well, as I was saying in the previous, answering the previous question, well, I'm North African, I'm originally from Algeria, and all of our dishes consist of one sort of meat, whether it's fish, whether it's chicken, whether it's red meat. So it was something that I believed before, that's the only source of protein that I can get. So yeah, it was kind of important.
It's important, right?
In my country it's quite. Now in my country it is important to have meat. Like you can't go to somebody's house and you're invited into it and there's no like 1 or 2 or 3 sorts of meat on the table. Like they literally go all out with their meats.
Definitely. Now let me give you a little bit of a backstory. You know,
Sorry.
but I'm going to give you the very clean version because it's a little bit squeamish. But essentially, when I first met Nari's family and I flew to her country, it was for a family member's wedding. And you know, the first thing I walked into was an animal that had been purchased for the wedding. You know, was going to be eaten basically. So I walked into that. That was my first experience of her country. So it's very, very a meaty country, and I apologize if that's upset anyone, but this is just the reality. In fact, it's the reality in every country, really. Just in places like the UK, we just don't see it. It's done elsewhere. You know, in some other countries, it's done, you know, at the forefront of where we are. So that then brings me kind of to my next question, but it was kind of linked to the last question. But do you think it would be harder to be vegan in your home country? And if so, why?
Oh, 100%.
And not just from a everyone eats meat and meat is the thing to do. Like, why else would it be hard?
It is. First of all, I think here in the UK we have a lot of substitution for everything. So back home in Algeria, and I think in a lot of emerging countries, veganism is not a huge thing, especially when you look at it from a cultural perspective. Again, and no offense, this is just my opinion, so don't get offended. But it goes from everything. Like, we use butter, we use milk, we make cakes. Everything's like the whole atmosphere. You wake up, you have cafe au lait in the morning, you have a nice buttery croissant, you have different cakes that have been made. So
here we have oat milk. So do you think that aside of what the staple diet is and what, you know, the classics are in your home country, I know as well, because in my mum's country it's you know, it's similar as well. There's a lot of meat and a lot of animal products and stuff. But do you think also from a cultural point of view and a thinking point of view, it's a little bit not frowned upon, but people might see it as a bit weird as well?
I think from the previous generations, yes. For people that are from my generation and the one after us, not so much, because I think a lot of people have become conscious of what they're eating, what they're putting into their bodies. I know, like, if I went to my nan, may she rest in peace, and told her, "Nan, I'm not eating meat anymore," she'll think I'll die. Literally, she'll be like, "Oh my God, you can't." So no, I think maybe the old school will think is a crazy idea, but the new generation look at it a different way.
Cool, awesome. Now, in terms of, I know you had tried some vegan products before any of this, and I think maybe that also made it, when you decided to do it, you probably thought also in your mind, actually, I already eat a couple vegan things. I know one of the things is, actually, I'm not going to spoiler alert, but there was a couple of things you were already eating just because you liked it, right? So what were your favorite vegan-friendly products that you discovered and consumed most of?
So there was this Plant Pioneer product, the chicken bites, the southern fried ones, and there's the Kujan chicken ones.
In a wrap with some aubergine.
Yeah, so yeah, that was probably one of my favorites. Plant Pioneer actually have a lot of good products. They have that, like cod, the fish, that actually tasted like fish. I was so surprised. They also Plant Kitchen from M&S. They have these burgers. They actually taste like burgers. I was so freaked out when I had it. I was like, oh my God, it actually tastes like meat. So yeah, I'll say these two are one of my favorites.
Okay, perfect.
And oat milk. Oh my God, oat milk cappuccino wasn't the best thing ever. Thanks, Mashida, for recommending it.
And what else? Something you haven't mentioned.
Mayo.
This woman, I swear. We go through, I think, litres of mayonnaise. We might as well just get the big catering tubs, because she eats so much of it. In fact...
Oh God, it's my favourite thing.
Bam! This is actually a new favourite, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Hellman's. Vegan mayo. How many different mayos did you try? So
3 or 4.
Veganuary is a month, obviously a month in January. And how many jars of this sort of size mayo did you go through?
This is my 4th one.
This is her 4th one in a month. And she tried 4 different types. So if you're stuck for mayo and you want recommendations, she's your girl, because she tried all of them basically. I think.
And then mayo is no joke. I'm sorry. Like I actually can eat mayo with everything.
The only form of mayo that's acceptable is the mayo in Nando's that they put in your wrap or burger or whatever.
Yeah, but that's not vegan.
Okay, yeah. No, but coming back to mayo, when
Yeah.
you said mayo's for everything, for me, the only form of mayo that's acceptable is that. But anyway, mayo. Let's move on. So, cool. Lots of cool products. Are you going to be using some of those still?
Yes, I'm definitely going to stick to Hellman's vegan mayo.
So no more mayo.
No more real mayo.
So when we go back home to your
Oh,
home
God.
country, we're going to take some in the suitcase, yeah?
Probably.
Don't tell customs, because you'll probably get arrested or fined. No, it's cool, because it's no animal product, so you can take it. Take as much as you want. And we're going to take oat milk, yeah?
Oh yeah,
Because otherwise...
I'm going to struggle back home, yeah.
Yeah, so... We're
They
gonna
probably have oat milk, but...
We're going to have a very overweight suitcase. Cool, so how did your body react to the change? React to the change to veganism, both at the start and at the end, when you started consuming animal-based products again?
Well, the first thing that I've noticed really is after, usually when I eat lunch or dinner, I feel quite sluggish afterwards.
Is that during veganism or?
No, before veganism.
Okay, yeah.
And so when I converted into veganism, so when I did the little changes and modifications, I realized I wasn't feeling tired afterwards. I was kind of in a good buzz. I was like, oh yeah, I can carry on with my day. And so when the month finished and I went back on eating meat, I really wasn't feeling well. I remember I was telling you, oh God, my stomach, I don't know what's wrong. Like, I really don't feel so well. So yeah, I think that was one, like my energy level was one of the biggest things that I've realized.
Okay. Cool. And what about your diabetes? Because we've mentioned before, Nari's a type 1 diabetic. Did you notice any change with your diabetes control, range, etc., etc.?
So right, so for all the diabetics out there, I think that's one of the reasons that I might stick for like a semi-vegan lifestyle, maybe a vegetarian lifestyle. What I've realized the most is the infusion. So
She thinks she's back in hospital with hyperemesis.
So when you inject your insulin, the way it absorbs into your bloodstream, if you have a high fatty diet, it takes a bit longer for the insulin to get into your bloodstream. So I realized that the insulin was actually being absorbed quite quickly, which was great. And I didn't have any spikes in the grand scheme of things. I only had spikes when I wasn't feeling well. But in the overall day, my sugar level, my line was within the green zone. So everything goes up and down, up and down. But that was one of the biggest things that I realized. Also, because my sugar level one was not spiking up and down, my HbA1c, I'm going to do it in percentages because I hate the millimole one. So before I started veganism for the month, I was 7.8%. And at the end, I was 7.5%.
Nice. 0.3.
So yeah, so 0.3. It takes a long time for your sugar to change. So that was a big change, I would say.
Just to put it out there as well, that wasn't an official blood test. That was done from the Freestyle Libre that scans it, kind of calculates it, so it's accurate. But it's a good indication, and that's a very, very good change. So anyone that's struggling with their diabetes, that's some of these things you might want to pick up because it could potentially help you. And finally, I mean, this is all still the same question, but what about weight and physical self-appearance, etc., and mentality as well? Did we cover any of that?
Okay, so before I started the veganism, you suggested that I should weigh myself and see how it goes. So we did all the BMI, the body fat percentage, water retention. And finally, I have not done major adjustment into my diet. So I was practically eating normal. The carbs didn't change. The vegetables were there. Like I had just substitutions for meat, and probably I will eat more aubergines and mushrooms and like pulses and stuff like that. I ended up losing 4 pounds, which is like 2 kilos, and without even trying. Like because I didn't exercise much. Maybe I will go for a run once a week.
Yeah, you weren't exercising
before
your pregnancy. Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised, and I also dropped 1% of body fat. So it was a kind of impressive thinking that one little change that I've done. So literally, I just removed any animal product, and I was kind of strict with it because I didn't even eat honey.
She was very, very strict with it. She did really, really well. She did really well, apart from one blooper. One blooper on the second to last day. Can you imagine? She was cooking for our son. She decided to give him egg. He's never had egg before.
So I decided to give him half an egg.
So she gave him half an egg. And then she had a spare half an egg and she ate it, forgetting that she was on a vegan challenge. And she did that on like the 29th day. Can you imagine? She was so upset for like at least 12 hours. And then she realized in 2 days she could eat anyway. But that was funny. But yeah, she was really strict, even when, you know, people around her, you know, for like, no one will know, go on. She was, no, I'm doing it. And she did it. So well done. But great results with very little exercise.
Yeah.
And I think
let me answer the mental one, isn't it? So I think mentally, because I was not tired, like after eating, the sluggish, even though we have a young one that keeps us up most of the nights, actually I started waking up a bit earlier now.
Well done. That must have been oat milk.
I think mentally, there was not major changes. It didn't affect me psychologically where I was like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. I don't have any choices, any options. That's it. Kind of good clarity, not tired. So when you're less tired, you make a bit better decisions and things like that. So I think, and overall, it was a really good experience.
Amazing. So obviously you would do it again. That was kind of my last question. But second to last, what do you think people, you know, who have an interest in making this sort of shift towards being a bit more plant-based or completely plant-based? I guess most people will probably start gradually. But so if someone has an interest in being a bit more plant-based, like myself, you know, I cut out, I don't really eat dairy either myself. I still have a bit of cheese, but I limit how much meat and stuff I eat. You know, what would you recommend people like myself to do, and where should someone like me start?
I was said to do it I was said to do it gradually.
She's under pressure. Her throat's going dry.
No, I just came back from a run and my throat is killing me. So I would say
your legs are meant to kill you, not your throat when you go for a run.
It's the air.
Yeah.
So I would say to do it gradually. Don't shift everything. Obviously, when I did the challenge, it was like boom, all at once, everything changed. And so taking away like dairy products anyway. I never liked dairy products except of cheese and mayo. No, mayo is not dairy really.
No, it's just egg and oil.
And oil. So I don't like milk. So
but you could eat a kilo of cheese a week.
I can eat cheese so easily, and I think that was one of the difficult things that I could not find the right substitute for. But what I've done, I reduced my intake of cheese. So I'll say like to just reduce it, do it gradually. Like take the things that you dislike the most anyway. So like the things that you can live without. And even if you had to reduce your protein intake, like when I mean protein, I mean meat intake. So if you're eating meat 7 days a week, try and eat meat 4 days a week or 3 days a week. And see how it goes. Like ultimately, when you start listening to your body, you'll realize the benefits that it has for you. I mean, I'm not a vegan myself. I just tried it for a month, so I don't have like years of expertise or an experience on it. But I've realized in that short period of time that my body was actually kind of thankful for it, because I gave my stomach a break of trying to digest meat, and meat takes a long time to digest.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so just make gradual changes. Just like if someone wants to start working out, you know, you wouldn't say go from being a couch potato to all of a sudden working 7 days a week for an hour, because you'll just be like, I hate my life. And I don't want to do it anymore, right? So cool. Based on your experience, would you do it again? I think you answered that already. And would you encourage other people around you, regardless of race, you know, religion, age, whatever? Because obviously you mentioned earlier, the older generation is harder to comprehend. Like, would you recommend everyone to give it a go?
I would 100% do. 100% do. Just for the changes in my diabetes only, I'll think, especially if you suffer from type 2 diabetes, because it is reversible with diet. So to give it a try and see how it works. At the end of the day, we all have different physiologies. So maybe the way I reacted to it was different. But in the grand scheme of things, if I think I don't think only physiologically will affect me differently. I think it will affect everybody almost the same way, because of whatever reason. I don't think your body, we are designed to be omnivores, so we eat both grass and whatever, everything like herbs, vegetables and meat. But I believe that we need to reduce our intake and have a better footprint for the planet in terms
Definitely.
of other things. I know
Definitely.
this goes a bit off topic maybe, but one of the reasons that it was easier for me to take on the challenge is because, you know, we watched that program with David Attenborough.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And you know, it's shocking. Like, we have a son, and if he carry on doing the same things, like, he might not have a future in the earth that we know it.
Yeah.
So, like, if everybody made little changes in their diet and the general lifestyle, not only benefits you physically, but it also benefits our planet.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess that's part of, for me, again, health reasons. I feel a certain kind of way if I eat a certain sort of food or whatnot, and also I'm very aware of the impact on the planet. What we're going to do is actually we're going to somehow, we're a bit new to this, as you know, but we're going to link the David Attenborough program in the description. So you can go and check that out. Maybe we just have to put the title and you guys can research it on Netflix, but please definitely check it out. It's an eye-opener, and it really shows the kind of impact humans are having on the world today. We're also going to link Mashida, who's a good friend of ours. She's got a YouTube channel. Go check her out. The transition to being a vegan, or you know, for steps on what you can try. And we're also going to link Johnny, Meatless Johnny's Instagram account. He's a very good friend of ours as well, does amazing recipes on his Instagram account. Go check him out, go follow him as well. And yeah, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you so much, Wifey, who answered all my difficult questions. But yeah, thank you for doing the experience and letting us know how you found it. I think it can be of great value and impact to people.
And if you think it'll be a great impact with people, if somebody wants to try it and not too sure, maybe one of my answers will help, please do share the video, share the information that we have, but also don't forget to like and subscribe.
Absolutely. So cool. On that note, thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.